working on today is a 70 Subaru Sambar. We're going to do a bunch of trick stuff with brand new hubs, brake calipers, brand new master cylinder. What we have here is the backing plate for the Subaru Sambar, and it runs two wheel cylinders. One pushes frontwards, one pushes backwards on the actual shoes themselves. A pretty unique design, but you can't buy any of these parts. So we're gonna go with something a little more accessible. That way it'll be able to service it and buy parts and everything if they ever run into any issues down the road. They also decided we're gonna get the engine running. So the Subaru runs a 600cc two-stroke, two-cylinder engine, and we're gonna get this thing running, fired up, and operating like it's supposed to. So on a two-stroke, a little two-stroke like this, they'll have like a little oil injector that injects the oil so you don't have to pre-mix it. It's right down there. Is your oil injector, and what it does is when you pull this throttle cable, it does like so, and then it lets oil in. Pretty simple setup. That's where the oil goes. I'm not a huge fan of that, just because if something goes wrong, like if you pre-mix your oil, you don't have to worry about anything. And with this, if there's a failure, you don't know it until it's already burnt the engine up. So we've got a little fuel coming out. Carb definitely needs to be cleaned, but a little hook keeps catching me. Looks like it's gonna be fun to take off without destroying. That's the one thing we can't do. Ooh. It's not like totally foreign, but it's a little different setup. The bottom screw right here, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna get it out. So the screw for the carburetor right there. That off. That might make it a little easier. Hey, you just keep taking parts off until stuff comes apart. So there we go. Carburetor for a Subaru Sambar. Unique. I don't think I've seen a carb like this before. So there's your bowl, which is massive. Your bowl, and then this is your float. So it's a float valve. Or the float may be in here, and I bet you that's just a valve. Okay. So there's your needle. Yeah, so here's your float right here. And the float seems like it worked really well. So somebody may have went through this thing once before, I'm not sure. So right here's your can't see. So I think that's probably your idle jet and your main jet is what I would say. This is some sort of air circuit. That's the air circuit. And then probably these two jets need to be cleaned, and then it can probably go back together. Everything else looks pretty nice and clean on it. Pretty dang clean. Let's see. It's a monstrous jet right there. No, as you look through it.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. Can't really see. Yeah, it looks nice and clean. Idle was, that's probably what was revving up, so I can run that through the. So this is a pretty small jet. Bolt it all back together. Let's see what happens. You just. So now you know that this is working properly. And what happens is, on this thing, the float comes up and it'll touch off on that and shuts the fuel off. So that's as much fuel that can go into the carburetor, so it doesn't start pumping it over the top of the out of the bowl there. So there's all that. We just bolt it right back in. I just got all the cables. I need to put all the cables back on the carburetor because I know it runs now. Everything's pretty clean inside the carburetor. So I can put all this stuff back on it. And then the fuel tank's disconnected, so I need to hook all the fuel tank stuff up, mount this pump, if that's what we're gonna use. And I mean, it's just kind of tweaking in the motor and maybe give it a little bit of a tune up, you know, check the heat on the exhaust to make sure it's not rich or lean. Get some hubs on it. Get some hubs. And we should be good to drive this thing around. Those are the drawings for the new hubs.
When will you get those?
I'm not sure. We still need some more parts. We need some brakes and calipers and put it all together to see offsets. And we want the tires to be nice and flush with the vehicle, or as flush as we can get them. So we need to make sure everything's exactly where it needs to be, because if we move it a little too far out, the wheels will stick out past the vehicle. I have to run like a little, like fender flare or something like that on it. But I'd really prefer not to. So.
Air breather?
Well, I think somebody made it. This is a made air breather. Somebody made.
How do you know it's not original?
Because it's got duct tape on it.
Oh.
And it's got, that's some hot rod breather or something. So.